Yo, 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 hello, hello. Welcome everyone and welcome everybody to the Friday's trading, starting with the London Open session today, as always, or almost always. There we go again. There we go again. The mission for this trading day is to redeem ourselves, to recoup at least portion of this DD that I made this week. That's the mission, and yeah, hopefully it will be a good one. Good morning, don't you, Christian? Hello, welcome to the stream, and nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Well, 10 minutes before the silver bullet hour for the London Open session, and yeah, let's see what we have in the charts, in the cards for today. So clearly we are romancing with all-time highs. Clearly we are seeing an ongoing affair with the all-time high. That's probably most likely outcome for today's trading. Whether we'll see any retracement afterward, maybe. Monthly last day, should we expect a monthly TGIF? Yeah, that's, I mean, there is a possibility of that. That's true. Something like this is possible, but it requires like some more evidence in price action to actually expect that happening more, and also that can be dragged out into the next month too, which it might take some more time than just one session or one day, regardless. But that's a good catch. And yeah, all right, hourly chart. Yeah, very clear, obvious swing high on Nasdaq. That's pretty much relative equal, and that's pretty much going to be most likely the draw on liquidity for now, and that's where it looks like price may want to go. By the way, let's do the split screen like this so we can analyze the ES at the same time. ES, yeah, ES right now, ES is on the, so to say, relative strength, the side of the relative strength. Right now, ES is making higher highs while Nasdaq isn't necessarily matching that yet, but it's very close to do so. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But nonetheless, at this moment, Nasdaq looks just cleaner to aim for the buy sell liquidity here as a potential near-term draw on liquidity. If price could offer something to get that, would be interesting. If not, then maybe some shorts would be apt. But yeah, we are at all-time highs. It's Friday's trading, and this is a wild card. So yeah, again, I feel like I'm not facing the easiest environment or the easiest moment to get a solid idea, but yeah, we'll see. I will try my best. Nonetheless, I will try my best to navigate somehow inside of it. So yeah, we have short-term or near-term buy liquidity right there that we might be reaching up into. It looks like we should be in close proximity to the new day opening up, so I will annotate that too. and the new day opening up resides right here. Pretty nice one. That's Friday's end dog. All right, so yeah, we are dealing around it or off of it here currently, and yeah, that might be useful, but nonetheless, price is clearly just seeking the buy side liquidity near term, and we are already quite high into the range. I mean, we already moved from this low to here over 120 handles or so, and we have still like 40 to go, 40 to go to actually clear that buy side liquidity. So that might be the last bit of the business in here. We'll see. Good morning, Sonia. Hello. Welcome also. And yeah, let's check the dollar index, and the dollar index just stays inside this consolidation, and it does not much in terms of any directional play. It's just consolidating right now, showing some near-term weakness, but yeah, it's just inside this consolidation, so it allows for both technically. So it's kind of neutral in a sense. All right, so the problem that I personally have with this price action in here right now is that look at the ES, right? ES just swept this high, or is sweeping this high, which is an all-time high. And after we sweep that or above that, I don't want to be long at all-time highs, buying a breakout into all-time highs, right? That doesn't sound like very sound and logical idea to be doing, right? Buying it above an old high into all-time highs sounds a little bit too crazy for me. It's similar Nasdaq, buying it right now until the buy side here, that could be a range of opportunity, which admittedly isn't that large, so that's also not that easy, but that's something that could offer an opportunity to go long, to run the buy side liquidity. But then also, yeah, we might see expansion and extrapolation higher behind that buy side, but that's very much a big speculation on my part, expecting something like this, because you know it could very well just sweep above that and then offer some measure of deeper retracement or reversal type of thing. These ideas are not out of the possibility. So yeah. So yep. And good morning, Kane. Hello, welcome. Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys. Showing up on a Friday morning, at least Friday morning where I live. Yeah, by the New York time, it's midnight, pretty much late night. But yeah, all right. So at least the go-to study is to look for those buy-side liquidity pools. Whether it will offer any opportunity, we'll see, but I would require some measure of retracement that might not be likely or that likely at all at this time and point of time. So yeah, I like the relative equal lows in here that were left. Just as a side note, I like those, but again, all-time high scenario, we are pushing pretty deep into the premium in here. And it is what it is in here. It is what it is. So yes, approaching its buy sell liquidity pull, all high. Right now, it already swept it politely here. We are trading to it again. So I certainly don't necessarily want to be a buyer there. So we'll see. We'll see what we get, but yeah, going like right away into it. I don't feel very confident about what the price should do. Therefore, that's already like a measure of a red flag for me, for my engagement, because yeah, I mean, if I engage during the time or the moment where I don't feel very much connected to the price, where I don't have a very clear idea what I want to do, then usually I get beaten up by price, or I lose myself in poor ideas, poor setups that are not necessarily there at the time. And yeah, generally it's better for me to avoid engaging in these conditions or in these times when I don't feel confident about what price may want to do next. But at the same time, the only way that I can change that fact and get more insight and glean the idea, the only way I can do it is by watching price and observing what the market is doing, what it's showing that it wants to do, and stuff like this, and paying attention to details, right? So let's do this right now. Let's not do a rookie mistake again, and let's put some serious effort and end this week as best as I possibly can. So no news on the calendar. It's Friday. This week was rather consolidated, I would say, for the majority of time. Now we are at the highs, pushing into the all-time highs. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. We'll see what we'll get. Yeah, because the initial portion of the week was rather tight inside the range, and then Thursday really started this larger range. There is a possibility that Friday may follow this up with a large range too. So it's not impossible, I guess, but yeah, we'll still need to watch and see what it wants to do after all. So yeah, I was jumping between the charts a little bit today to get a little bit of a perspective, of a better perspective maybe, and we'll see, really, we'll see. So we have a potential inversion fair value gap here on Nasdaq. I'll be watching that currently. We do have a pretty nice pool of sell-side liquidity right here on the NQ. I like how clean this level is. It's really smooth and relatively close. I mean, this is a primer candidate for a draw liquidity for a run on it. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. So far, Nasdaq is not matching the higher high with ES at this moment. So that might set up some SMT type of divergence ideas in here. We've taken some measure of old buy sell liquidity right there. And now we are setting up a potential inversion for value gap with a smaller for value gap right there. So I'm really curious how these two will develop. Yeah. And I think, or I assume that I will keep the relative equal lows in here in mind, especially after we would run above those highs here. If we could do that, a turn into that sell side would be or could be interesting, at least to me, potentially. So yeah, it still looks kind of open in terms of what we can get out of it or not. But right away, the idea that right away jumps on me is this being a potential inversion to send the price towards the new day opening up and best case those relative equal lows. But again, I think that this would be a little bit too aggressive at the time. Maybe not impossible, but a little bit too aggressive. So let's see. If price would show like a nice displacement away from the lower half of this inversion, that could still be a reasonable idea then. Follow up. Like something like this, exactly. Something like this. So, well, let's see. If this forms an inefficiency in here, that could have been something that I would like to engage on, but this would need to form a fair value gap. That's reasonably nice. And then any return could be, in my mind, viewed as a potential idea to go and reach there. This we already closed it in by very much, so I don't like that. I don't like that. I would like to keep the displacement, so yeah, we pretty much no fair value gap there anymore. So it's either an immediate rebalance, right? That should offer a quick move away, or there is just nothing really to work with. So yeah, let's see, let's watch. I'm not necessarily gonna enter in here, but that's a potential idea that I'm watching right now. A potential immediate rebalance after we reacted off of this fair value gap in here. So if that's indeed true, price would need to really run this candle or the next one and aggressively be seeking lower. And that would be like one idea how it could develop. But again, I'm still uncertain about what it wants to really do. If I had like a clear idea that it wants to go lower, then sure. I at this moment I feel like I want to stick with that idea that it wants to potentially go lower and pass on anything that will go higher, right? But yeah, we'll see eventually how it goes. But yeah, immediate rebalance. This candle was a small range. It didn't violated this, so this one would need to smash lower if it's indeed good and bearish in here. so far pushing higher, so this is not what I would like to see. After immediate rebalance, I would still allow for this week like this, but it would need to turn the next candle. So let's see if that will be the case. Not necessarily the case. So pretty much invalidating any short idea in here for me and requiring to wait for more information. And what information would that be? A nice displacement lower off of this inversion fair value gap again that offers a fair value gap. That's tradable, right? If you go above it, then obviously that cancels out any bearishness near term. So yeah, we'll see. Yes. Yeah, very shallow run on the buy side, so likely to make it a little bit more pronounced with another pass higher. And yeah, Nasdaq still romancing with that buy liquidity. It's definitely not out of question that it will want to match that still. But as long as this inversion fair value gap keeps it away from doing so, I feel like the lows are more prompt as an idea, I would say. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Well, so far, price offers a measure of resistance in here at this inversion fair value gap. We tapped again to it, but no bodies are being allowed to be placed inside of it. So that might be indicative of some measure of weakness, I suppose. Yeah, if we can take this low with a measure of displacement and a potential fair value gap inefficiency in here, that would be matching my expectation or my initial expectation. So we'll see what we'll get. It failed to take or cover this low out, so that's not like an ideal scenario in my mind right away. But yeah. Alright, so it formed a small little fair value gap right there. Um, but yeah, I don't think this one is very much tradable in this context as a potential return to it. We did tapped into the new week, new day opening up in here right now. So that could act as a discount here too. And I assume that if Nasdaq wants to trade higher, actually, towards the buy side here, we would expect some measure of support off of this PD array in the upper half of it. So let's see. We've taken a pool of relative equal lows here too. At the same time. Hello, Mr. HHH18. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you also. A solid pack today. A solid crew of OG members sitting with me. That's awesome. That's awesome, guys. Thanks for watching though. Thanks for the support through the chat. Appreciate it. And well, looks like we are speeding up a little bit through the new day opening up. And if that's the case, then the sell side liquidity in here that I mentioned at the beginning makes more and more sense. But in terms of engaging that, I feel like that was the only opportunity that made really sense. And not much afterwards, really. And I'm not sure and not certain about like any additional pyramid entries in here that make sense to me. I don't necessarily see them. I feel like so. Yeah, that kind of was it in my mind. By the way, we wicked to the lower half, but the body stayed in the upper half of that NDOC. So if price would start to rally in here, that would be actually bullish, in my opinion. If price would start to rally here, that would be actually bullish. Thanks, Mr. Gouraf. Thanks for your comment in here. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to not be another evil gambler out there online, burning accounts after accounts and like supporting reckless trading and reckless approach. I'm trying to promote the proper way, the good way, the smart way in a sense. Harder way, obviously, too. It's definitely harder, but we'll see. We'll see if that work will see some fruits after, I don't know, 2-3 more months from now. We'll see where we'll be at that time. and yeah, we'll judge. But thanks. I'm trying. Yeah, my friend. I was ICT private mentorship student. I joined the 2021 group, the last one, the last private enrollment. I was there, and yeah, I'm like I learned from everything. I learned from the private one, from YouTube one. So I went through all of material that's out there when it comes to that. And what do you do when you are not trading? Mm, yeah, mostly my free time is consumed by my little son. So I spend majority of time with him, every time that I can. And yeah, we're trying to have as much fun as possible. So yeah, that's really cool. Oh, don't you, Christian? That's a great question, though. That's a great question. Well, I mean, I don't have an easy answer to that, but I would say, or if I had a short, how I would approach it if I wanted to potentially hold it longer, I would say after we clear those radical lows, I would maybe take some partial off here, and then I would expect the price to like completely sink lower. If that would be the case, I'll be like more comfortable for holding for maybe this low and maybe some lower. But if we take this and we stall, then I wouldn't be necessarily, you know, sure that we will not come back for the buy set here later today. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty tricky uh, call uh, to know. But yeah, so yeah, at this point, I like how price is surging towards the relative lows. And admittedly, I like this inversion for value gap here as a potential entry in hindsight right now. Uh, After that, I don't see anything that I really like. Maybe this volume imbalance was somewhat of an idea, but really, when it comes to like high probability, that was the best one, and it's now falling out of the bed. So in that regard, this was a decent idea already, even if it would fail to reach those radical lows, right? Because after all, we never know. But yeah, I assume as long as we stay below the consecutive encroachment of that new day opening up, then uh, there is like game on to run those lows. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, though. Brother, tell me what time is perfect for entry. I mean, it depends, right? It depends. It pretty much depends. But if you want some general rule of thumb ideas, then I can recommend you the the sessions, right? The heart of the session. So basically, if you want to trade anytime between like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., as long as 5 a.m., I would say, during London, that's like optimal time. And if you really want to like get the best of the best, then look for the macros, right? So 10 minutes ahead of an hour and 10 minutes after an hour. If you can find an entry during that time, then there is pretty a large likelihood that it will be a banger entry. But yeah, so let's see. Looks like I'll be watching how price is potentially delivering this run into the sell side here after I hesitated to entry on this inversion potentially. And yeah, I don't necessarily see anything besides that right now that I would consider. So I'm still watching whether these lows will be taken out. But in terms of a new entry, I really don't see that. So yeah, that's like a missed opportunity in terms of like I didn't traded it, but that was something that was in my expectations, and it delivered or delivers pretty nicely. So that's a little bit of a mental comeback in my mind after my little losing streak of 3 days, past 3 days, and yeah, I'm really willing to recoup my mind, because the last 2 days I was really feeling disconnected to the price for the most part, and I saw the results of that, right? We all saw the results of that, which I need to kind of like get around it, right? I cannot be engaging price when I feel disconnected to it, and yeah. And by disconnected, I mean that I'm not necessarily sure whether I want to be a buyer or seller, where I don't necessarily know where it should go next, where I'm like, 50-50. It could go higher, it could go lower. When I'm like that, I need to be careful to uh, keep my bullets under my belt instead of shooting blindly. Maybe not blindly, but overzealous ahead of time, predicting something or forcing something that's not necessarily there. So yeah, that's I appreciate this price delivery here. I like what it did. I really like what it did. Even though I didn't participated in it, I really like what it did. So that was a silver bullet in hindsight that I would like to be a part of. But yeah, obviously I wasn't. So no biggie. Asian low as a target is good, I guess. I mean, it's possible. I would say. I definitely think it's possible. It could happen, but yeah, I mean, there's still a long way to go to be really like confident in expecting this to unfold currently. So a lot of shenanigans could still be in play. So yeah, I personally like those stratifical lows as the go-to. After that, I'm open to see whatever the market will be showing. Either willingness to continue or maybe reversal or likely consolidation. That's what I favor. Hourly candle became an inversion. I'm not sure what do you mean. Inversion in which way? In the way that we opened, I mean that we had an up candle here and now it's a down candle like this. That's not necessarily the inversion that I'm personally looking for, but yeah, I mean ES pulling off of the highs a little bit too. Not too chubby though. There is some sell liquidity respectively right there. So might want to go there. But still ES left pretty smooth highs in here already. So that's very, very suspect going forward. So I guess we'll see whether that will act as anything as a draw. So yeah, we got the sell liquidity in here after this pretty nice downfall in here. Not gonna lie, it was very, very decent price delivery, and yeah, that's great to see. That's great to see. So yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking about it a little bit in terms of like taking trades and stuff. What is better in terms of like what should I do in the future in terms of like still taking trades when I'm a little bit iffy, or just completely avoiding the idea until it's very, very clear to me. Because obviously, like, this is also like an entertainment type of endeavor for anyone who's watching, and I don't necessarily want to make it too boring, but I assume at certain point it will be better, I think, to just for me to just avoid trading completely, taking trades completely. So not taking a trade for the day completely, versus taking one that I don't have 100% conviction behind the entire picture, and that might result in some days without a trade. If I will not be very, very connected to the market, right? But yeah, we'll see. Beautiful market maker sell model, yes, beautiful one. Beautiful market maker sell model in here. Original consolidation cleared out, and that was a market maker sell model completed. And with that said, if it's completed now, there are a couple of options that we might see. We may see a consolidation now, prices going sideways. We might see a retracement back inside the range, or we might see a continuation lower. So a lot of options. Which one is the most likely? I feel like consolidation at this time is reasonable or pretty reasonable, but we'll see. I might long below midnight open. All right, Sonia, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Well, well. So yeah, I guess that was the business for the long open session here. So far, anything else we'll need to see what it will offer. But as I said, I mean, this was all I was looking for personally, for price to potentially deliver, and it did deliver pretty well. I didn't trade it, yes, but I need to recoup a little bit of my steam going forward, because yeah, lately I was rushing a little bit without a good idea, and that was bringing only trouble. So yeah, looks like we are displacing below this low in here. So that type of signature suggests continuation lower. So now I would watch this low with more likelihood to it that it could be attacked, okay? If this can become an actual inefficiency for value gap, with displacement taking this short-term low, that's the ideal signature to see potential, that favors potential continuation. But very important, we should not overtake this high, and also this should remain inefficient. It's not, so that's not anymore that signature. So yeah, so that maybe was just a run on stops in here, deeper purge on stops, and now we might be back to potential either consolidation or stuff like that, unless we do another displacement that's actually will stay open for a bit. Well, good job, good on you, Christian, and good luck with your position. Good luck with your position. I think that's a very good call overall, very sound and logical. So perfect, perfetto. Let's see what ES is doing. ES also did took out the respective sell side liquidity. It seems a little bit. I mean, it seems way less. volatile. What would you like to know, Suyet? I mean, tell me something about Killzone. That's a little bit general and wide question. Yes, we have few kill zones. Yes, we do. 3 main ones. Well, and everything in here, the downside is happening during short-term strength, short-term rally on dollar index, which is ideal type of scenario for rundown. And yeah, I guess it was a nice delivery in here. So now let's see. Let's wait. I mean, at this point, it's kind of tricky, kind of difficult for me to expect much out of it. It might continue, it might not. It kind of becomes again a little bit iffy or too iffy for my liking, or way too iffy to engaging this with any great deal of probability. Five-minute chart. Yeah, I mean 5-minute chart still ramping lower. The Asian lows maybe a factor, but still it's kind of like on a crossroads at the moment. And yeah, we are at the all-time high still, so it's not out of question. Yes, I do trade New York session, and by the way, I will be engaging with the AIM session today too. So we'll see what we get. To be honest, I feel a little bit like I feel a lot of passion today. I woke up very energetic, and I honestly I would like to even, maybe I will regret saying that later, but at this moment I feel like I would like to do full rotation and go through the AM and PM session also, and just enjoy the price delivery with its a little bit, I mean with its beauty and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. So far, I mean, I don't see anything that I could that would match my personal model in here that I'm utilizing for the silver bullet. So yeah, I will not be touching this at this moment anymore. It delivered already, so the likelihood of delivering again is rather less. Not impossible, but less. And yeah, I want to practice what I preach. So that will be it for this one, I suppose. Tell us important points about New York session. But by the way, but do you refer to the New York close because you added the C? New York close session, which technically is the PM session, or do you mean the AM session, New York, or the general kill zone? But yeah, I mean generally, what I can tell you about the New York Open, let's say from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. New York time. That's the New York Open kill zone time window. This great time, by the way. New York Open, yeah, that's the time, 7 to 10. I mean, keeping it very, very simple, I could tell you that majority of the time you would look for a measure of continuation, whatever the London session did. Let's say London was bullish, then majority of the time you would be looking for continuation bullishly during the New York Open. And the caveat to it is, or the filter to it is, that you would need to know a higher time frame drawn liquidity to justify whether the continuation is actually valid, because if price hasn't reached a higher time frame PD array yet, the New York Open continuation is great. But let's say price already did reached a higher time frame PD array and we are trading into the New York Open, then you would not look for continuation, but you would look for reversal during New York Open and attack the London Open session lows or highs in regards whatever it did. But yeah, that's a little bit like an gem or caveat to it there. So yeah, nonetheless, guys, kudos to you for watching. Thanks for showing up on Friday morning like this, Friday London Open. It was a pleasure as always. Price delivered a nice run. Yes, that was a silver bullet that I would be interested in, but I didn't took it. Therefore, yeah, it's gone. So I'll be there for the morning session. I'll be watching price there, and hopefully we'll see some nice price runs there too. And yeah, kudos to you guys. I wish you a pleasant reminder of the day or pleasant weekend if we won't see or hear each other anymore today. Therefore, yeah, it is what it is. So keep it positive, I guess. Keep it positive and with a great deal of smile, and then everything is easier to weather, I suppose. So thank you so much, Sonia. Thanks, and see you guys later. Bye bye.